And what I want to do now is bring up Scott Fitzgerald. He's the Director of Procurement at the Mentor Network, and he's going to share with you their experience of how they've reimagined procure-to-pay in their organization to make a difference. Scott.
There you are. Thank you. Hello, as I said, I'm Scott Fitzgerald, Director of Procurement for Mentor. And I first wanted to kind of give you a little overview of Mentor. We're a health and human services company, probably we're $1.2 billion in revenue, so we're probably the largest health and human services company you've never heard of. And what we pride ourselves on is our mission of providing key services to people with intellectual and developmental disabilities, children with emotional and behavioral challenges, people also that have brain and spinal cord injuries. And we provide these through a number of methods. In foster care, we help to identify, locate, train, and support foster parents. We provide day programs for these individuals where they come in for the day, get their treatment, their programs. We also purchase and operate group homes where we have, as states close their institutions, we assimilate these people into group homes so they get to learn to be able to support themselves, potentially get jobs, and become part of the community. And we also have some facilities for people when recovering from brain and spinal cord injuries. As I mentioned, we've in 34 states, we have over 27,000 employees, over 2,700 locations. And as you can imagine, the locations are being added and removed constantly. We've got a 42% turnover rate in the field. So there's 27,000 employees and it turns over at 42%. So you can just imagine training issues. And we provide our services under these 4 brands. It's Mentor, REM, which is based out of Edina, Minnesota, just outside of Minneapolis. Neurorestorative, which is based out of Boston along with Mentor, and Care Meridian, which is based out of California. I just wanted, one thing, we're a very mission-based organization. Everybody is there to provide the end services to our patients. And so from a procurement perspective, every dollar I can save goes around and can be used to provide services to these individuals who greatly need them. So I just want to also put up the website. If you know anybody that is interested in becoming a care provider, a foster parent, or somebody that may need our assistance, you can just reach out directly through this website. So I came to the Mentor Network about 1.5 years ago, and at that time we went through and looked at what Mentor was doing. There were no assigned commodities to any of the staff. If you needed procurement's help, you called the same person you knew, for everything. There were only 13 contracts that were documented that procurement was managing. There was a $200 million addressable spend, or what I call sourceable spend, the way I defined it. And out of that, only $36 million was going through procurement. And they also had consistently every year a $2.5 million savings, which they somehow managed to hit on the nose every year. There are 24,000 purchase orders processed a year, made up from 18,000 requisitions. And you can see right here is the opportunity. For those 24,000 purchase orders, there were 529,000 payment transactions going through accounts payable. All paper-based, all red stamp, have 10 people sign it, send it in the mail, and you can imagine with the 2,700 locations and 27,000 employees, we're keeping the U.S. Postal Service in business. The other challenge that we have is because of our geographical dispersity, the systems, we currently have over 6,000 P cards out in the field. People can go out and do whatever they want with it. And anybody that knows P cards, all you know is, okay, I've got 75 million in P card spend, but I have no idea what they bought. I know who bought it, when they bought it, so that's another challenge we have. So, and I know Richard didn't want, we were talking about this, but I came in and had a 1-year strategy, and I have a 3-year strategy. On the left side of the slide, the background, that's what I jokingly call that, the whole left side of the slide is BS. It's like before Scott. And then, so on the right side, as you'll see, once I got there, what I did to make us more efficient and provide more value for the company. I reorganized the staff by commodity. So we have individuals who are the subject matter experts for that commodity for the entire network. And then we also have backups. It's part of what you've heard from a couple other speakers. you have to have talented individuals and trained individuals. And in my instance, we had people that had certain pockets of knowledge. So part of assigning them as subject matter experts and working with them is to train them so they can provide better service to our clients. Currently, we now have 90 contracts under management. We built an in-house contract management database in Salesforce that we're currently using. Last fiscal year, which ended September 30th, we had $58 million spent under management. I increased the savings target after redefining the savings, how you come up with it, to $3 million, and we actually hit over $5 million. And then, and that's all without working on the systems. That's all process. That's all expertise. That's all team. And now the next step is looking at the system, because we want to increase the spend under management, contracts under management, and the value that we provide to the network. And we currently use Oracle IPROCUREMENT, which is about 2 revisions old. One of the issues is it's server-based. So if you're not on our network, you can't get to it. And we have, with all of our locations, they may have internet access, but they're not in the network. So it can't reach them. Ease of use, it isn't there. It's very difficult to figure out. If you're in there every day, you definitely can navigate around it, know what you're doing. But with a 42% turnover, we're spending hours and hours of training people who may do half a dozen requisitions a year. Each time they need a requisition, they need to be trained. For adding new punch-out catalogs, we have to engage IT, bring in developers and programmers, and it's got a 2-month lead time. So we've negotiated a contract, and it takes 2 months to get it up and running so people can use it. The licenses itself are also based upon company revenue, not on the number of licenses. So if we were a smaller company, it would cost us less. I didn't sign it. And then the last thing is if you have any of the approval workflow, what we call a systems enhancement request form. You have to bring in IT to be able to change your approval workflow. Even if somebody leaves the company, you get a new person in, they change the categories, it's not driven off our HR database. It's a standalone, and it requires a lot of extra work. Some of the pain points from the field are it's slow. I can't figure it out. I don't know where to find it. And one of the other items that kind of pushed me towards this direction is that there are no plans for us to upgrade. So it's live with everything you have now or find a new solution. So I went out and started looking at all of the providers out there in this space, and here's a list of them. And we selected Zycus. And for some of the key points is, number one, most often, is ease of use. As Richard talked about, it's the Amazon buying with the Google search. People can go in, they can type in laptop, find what they want. It goes cross-catalog. There's nothing siloed, as well as you can put in non-catalog items. People could enter in, I want to buy from Joe down the street. All right, we'll type all Joe's information in, and now it'll go to a buyer, and they'll be able to address it for you. It was also because of the partnership that Zycus came to us because of the company's mission. A lot of these other providers didn't get it. It's one where kind of looking at saying, okay, as I said, every dollar I can save goes to dollars for people to service in the field. And we needed to have high-level commitment from Zycus in a partnership, which we do have, and it's been working great so far. And probably the one thing that was definitely a benefit, especially when I talked to my CIO, is that Zycus is in that magic quadrant. So they're the leader in this area, which a lot of these other providers are considered niche players. Here I wanted to show a kind of a screenshot of one of our early pages, where you can see that you have the categories on the left for the people to be able to find it easily. You have the punch-out catalogs at the bottom, and then you have the search bar, just like Amazon. You search for it, it comes up, you create your cart, and my goal was to get people in and out of the system in less than 5 clicks. Because anything more than that, they're going to just pick up the phone and put it on their P card, and that's not a solution. So currently where we are, we're actually going to be having a soft launch. We've got 87 users and approvers identified. We're going to be training them over the next couple weeks. We have our pilot, or the soft launch, starting on the 11th. We're hoping to go live 2 weeks after that. And then we have 40 suppliers in there, 3 punch-out catalogs. And the reason we have 3 punch-out catalogs is, these are for office supplies, medical supplies, and IT. So we have high volume. Everybody gets access to them. IT ties into fixed assets, so we're integrating with fixed assets. We also have multiple payment methods. We can pay by check, EFT, P-card or Ghost card. And rather than having invoices submitted directly to accounts payable, the way we're designing the system is that everything's matched within the Zycus system. So you have your 3-way match, and it's identified as okay to pay, and there's going to be a payment feed directly into Oracle Financials, and nobody's going to have to touch it. It's just going to go right out the door. And you figure if I can eliminate, 20% of the 500 and some odd thousand invoices, going to make a lot of people's lives easier. We also going to have a cost center feed in from Oracle. Every time they change the department numbers, which could happen on a daily basis, it's going to have pretty much real-time updates. So that way when people are going to order, there isn't going to be any kickouts or reconciliation problems because the department number is invalid or it's new and it hasn't shown up yet. We're also having full workflow, which one of the benefits was that we don't have to bring IT in the future to change workflow. My systems administrator can go in and just pull a few buttons, create like a Visio chart. Here's the workflow, test it, it's good, it's in place. And then we're also going to have custom reporting. As I said, for the individual CFOs, business directors, they want to do reports on their department, a particular general ledger account, a particular commodity. They're all going to have the ability to go in and do that themselves, whereas right now if they need it, they come to us and we have to take time out to, even though it's a value-added service, it isn't saving the company money. It's more for them to be able to document. And then after that, we're looking for a full rollout in Q2 of next year. So, right now, as I said, we're ready to go. I think it's an exciting product, and just wanted to open up if anyone had any questions.